Thanks very much for staying with us. Time now for Eye on Africa with me, Georgia Calvin-Smith. Tonight, Burundi, Tanzania, Kenya continue to battle extreme deluges. Kenya's capital braces for the arrival of Cyclone Hidaya, even as the country struggles with the damage caused by heavy rains so far. Also, as millions face the spectre of famine caused by a brutal year-long conflict in Sudan, an activist monitoring the crisis shares his concerns about an imminent attack on the city of Fasher in North Darfur. And regalia returns to Ghana and goes on display in the seat of the Asante King after treasures looted under British colonial rule are finally back where they belong. But first, on Thursday, Kenya braced for the arrival of Cyclone Hidaya on the heels of devastating flooding caused by intense rains across East Africa. The death toll's now topped 188 since March, and emergency workers have been scrambling to evacuate people living in flood-prone areas. Olivia Bizo reports from Nairobi.
I don't know if you can hear it, but heavy rain is once again pounding Nairobi, and it's expected to continue for the rest of the week. This will only add to the damage. Since March, 188 people have been killed in the floods, and almost 30,000 households have been displaced. Tourists have also been affected. On Wednesday, the rain flooded parts of the Masai Mara National Reserve. 90 people have been rescued from the park so far, according to the Red Cross, which has been busy conducting rescue operations in recent weeks. The organisation has also been setting up temporary emergency shelters for those who've been displaced.
We have about 121 displacement camps, and these displacement camps are mostly institutions of learning or public spaces like churches and such. And we already have 38 out of the 47 counties in the country affected by this. Our role as Red Cross is to help in these temporary shelters where they are in, and we have provided more than 5,000 non-food item kits to these particular populations to assist them.
Other countries in the region have also been affected, including Tanzania, where at least 155 people have been killed in the floods, and Burundi, where hundreds of thousands of people have been displaced.
Olivia Bizo there for us. Now, on Thursday, the Red Cross said that 2 of its drivers in Sudan had been killed by gunmen, and they're amongst the tens of thousands who have died in a brutal year of war between two generals that has triggered one of the worst humanitarian disasters in recent memory. More than 8 million people have been displaced. 18 million face food insecurity. It's the world's largest hunger crisis. Fighting between the army, headed by General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan, and the RSF paramilitary led by Mohamed Hamdan Daglo shows no signs of abating. Dr. Bushra Rahama is a long-time Sudanese rights activist, and he joins me now from London. Bushra, thanks so much for making time to speak to us. Now, first of all, amidst all this horror, recently we have heard internationally particular concerns expressed about the possibility of an imminent attack on the city of Fasher in North Darfur. What is your understanding of what's happening there?
Thank you for having me. Actually, the conflict in Darfur is completely different than what's happening in all over Sudan, because we cannot isolate what is happening now in Darfur from the long tragedy since 2003. The ethnic element there, as we know, the Janjaweed, the long time they did whatever kind of atrocity there. And even now, RSF showed that the ethnic case in recent conflict in Mena, which was in May last year, it was very tragedy. As well, now Fasher is considered as a symbol of heritage, a symbol of Darfur Kingdom. As well, the Darfurian people, now if we look at it very critically, we can find after Niala has been taken by RSF, most of it occupied by Arabs, while Fasher mostly by African. Now they feel that it is a kind of a war of dignity in order to protect Fasher. So we believe the coming crisis, it will be more offense than before.
Dr. Bushra, so these elements to do with identity, to do with tribal allegiations, bearing in mind that this conflict began as a power struggle between the army and the RSF, have we seen this kind of ethnic element play out anywhere else in the grand scheme of things of the conflict? I know you said that what's happening in Darfur is very particular, but have you seen any echoes of that elsewhere?
Yeah, it is there actually. If we look at the South Kordofan in Nuba Mountain, the ethnic element now is starting to appear very obviously, and it is very clear in many places in South Kordofan. Like in Sita, has been attacked by RSF targeting Nuba, while in the eastern region of South Kordofan, South attacking Arab group. So the ethnic issue, it is there. Even now in Port Sudan, there is an element of ethnic conflict which fueling that this war is coming up. So the ethnic issue, it is there.
Thank you so much for giving us that insight. Bushra Rahama speaking to us from London, sharing concerns about the possibility of an imminent attack on the city of Fasher in North Darfur, Sudan. In other news, after days of huge queues at petrol pumps in Nigeria, the National Petroleum Company has tried to reassure drivers with news that it will be able to turn around fuel shortages over the coming days. Our Chinwe Osundu reports from Lagos.
Scarcity and queues in Nigeria remains a generational problem, and no government has been able to totally resolve this apparently incurable disease. Nigeria is a major oil-producing country, but its population still needs to queue up to get fuel from gas station. We are in Lagos. Across is a major gas station, and we are going to get some views, despite the fact that the authorities promise that this scarcity is going to end in few days because they blame logistics. But today we are here, and the problem is still lingering.
I don't think government understands what people are passing through to get this. We are, for God's sake, we are an oil-producing nation, and we shouldn't be struggling to get fuel. So this should be the least things that government should do for the people.
So it's affecting a lot of things about the transporting to home, transporting to the office, and also to get to the filling station to get the fuel. The queue is much.
Like yesterday, I didn't go out throughout because I don't have a fare. Decided to say, let me go and queue for fuel today. It's almost about 2 hours now and they are queue.
The Nigerian government will have to find a permanent solution to the fuel scarcity in Nigeria. Sources suggest that the government should stop exporting the crude oil and make sure that the refineries are working. Therefore, stop enriching the black markets. And also, this will be to the benefit of the whole population and Africa at large.
Chinwe Osundu there for us in Lagos. Now, Chadians are gearing up for next Monday's presidential election. Amongst the 10 candidates in the running is interim leader Mahamat Idris Deby Itno, who was installed by the army after his father, the late President Idris Deby, was killed on the battlefield 3 years ago. Our team reports from Jamina.
Dembe Market in Jamena, a few days before Chadians vote for their future president.
We want healthcare, schools, drinking water, electricity. We need a lot of things in this country.
The 10 candidates in Chad's presidential election are hoping to win over voters with promises of prosperity and jobs. Many Chadians, though, say promises are made every time there's a vote, but nothing changes.
Every time, people are shouting, but the government acts like it doesn't hear. All the government wants is to stay in power. It doesn't think about the reality Chadians are living. With this election, I really want to change.
The majority of Chadians, even here in the capital city, don't have electricity or drinking water in their homes. We want change. That's what we're hearing from people here at the market. Young people particularly, many of whom work hard at school and who can't find decent jobs and feel uncertain about their futures. It's 10 a.m. Cyril and his friends are drinking beer at the market. The 33-year-old studied law at university, but unable to find a job, he now sells whatever he can find.
What young people in Chad want are jobs. Our diplomas are sleeping in drawers. We don't have a solution for that. It's great seeing a return to constitutional order, but now it's time to listen to the Chadian people.
A new constitution was put in place during the 3-year transition period that followed the killing of the late president Idriss Déby on the battlefield. The next step in the transition is for Chadians to vote for their future president on May 6th.
Well, after more than 50 years of negotiations, royal treasure looted from Ghana during British colonial rule are finally on display in their rightful setting. The gold regalia went on show in Kumasi, the seat of the Asante King, this week after having been sent back from the UK and the US last year.
The moment is solemn and ceremonial for this historic moment. The British delegation is paying its respect to the King Osei Tutu II as royal artifacts from his dynasty are being returned in a long-term loan deal.
The items that came back virtually is the soul of the people of Ashanti.
Yeah.
We are displaying this for you to see that the items that were stolen, looted in 1874, not all of them has returned, but that what we have here still embodies the soul of Ashanti.
Yeah.
And I believe within the period that they are being displayed here, you make an effort, everybody, to come and visit, to see it yourselves.
32 gold and silver treasures were pillaged by British military forces from the Asante royal court during the 19th century Anglo-Asante wars. Negotiations to return the items took more than 50 years.
It's very significant indeed. My grandfather, Otunfo Pokowai II, began this process in 1974, as we've heard, when he first wrote to the British Museum. And in many ways, this is one of his life's goals. And even though he's no longer with us, and sadly has been gone for 25 years now, it means a great deal, really, to see his vision come to life in such spectacular fashion, in ways that I don't even think we were anticipating, but we always had faith.
The artifacts are now displayed in a museum in Kumasi, the seat of the Asante Kingdom. Their return may be a way for the nations to confront the cultural legacy of its colonial past and create better relationships in the future.
Absolutely gorgeous. That is, though, all we have time for Eye on Africa for now. Thanks for joining us, though, and do so again if you can. Till then, take care.